Hey guys, I'm going to talk about my wedding day horrors. I know that everybody says that on your wedding day, nothing's going to go right, that something will go wrong, and that you should just take it with a grain of salt because at the end of the day, you're married, and that's all that matters, and that's all that should matter. I definitely agree. However, the road to getting married and definitely planning an out-of-state wedding is miserable. That's about the only word I can think to describe it. It is absolutely miserable. It's horrible. I had a year and a half to plan, and I could have used another year and a half, honest to God. We will go into a lot of detail probably in the future about the extreme wedding horrors that I had, but for just this video, because I don't want it to be super long, I'm just going to talk about the bullet points. So, I don't think I have any more anymore. Anyways, I ordered my invitations. I ordered them online because I didn't really trust a whole lot of places around here. I couldn't find a lot of places to do invitations. So I go online, and our colors were a light blue, a dark blue, and a silver. And so I was like, okay, let's do light blue for the names, and then the rest will have like a dark gray kind of silvery color. So when I go to click the colors online, it was black, gray, silver, and then some like charcoaly ash color, and then it faded into lighter colors, into your whites, and then beneath it were your blues. So I picked out my blue, I clicked my gray, and when the invitations came, they were pistachio green instead of the gray silver I wanted. So I called them and I was like, hey, so I just got my invitations off your website and they're the wrong color. And they're like, okay, let's look up all your information. So they look up my information. They're like, nope, you clicked pistachio green online. And I was like, okay, green was like the fifth row down, so had I like screwed up on either side, it would just be a different form of gray, and if I had screwed up or down, well, you can't screw up going up because there were no more colors, and if I would have screwed up going down, it would just be a darker blue than the one that I had selected for the names. And they're like, nope, well, that's what it said, so we didn't screw up, but we can give you a 25% off discount if you want to reorder them. And I'm like, first of all, these suckers cost like $500. Secondly, I did use a coupon the first time I ordered them, so no, I'm not going to reorder all of these invitations because, screw it. So I sent them out, and people were like, your invitations were really hard to read. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm sorry, I wasn't about to spend more money on these things when they screwed up the first time. So anyways, you can see my bouquet behind me, right up there. I love that thing. It's heavy as I'll get it. It's probably a good 15 pounds. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it's the wrong color. My crafting area over here behind me, right there, that blue is the blue that my bouquet should have been, but it's not. So only I really knew that, except for the people that I told, but still it was the fact that I knew it was the wrong color, and this was like, you know, it was supposed to match my bridesmaid dresses, and now it didn't match anything, it was just there. So it made me stand out a little bit more, which people are like, oh, that's really cool, and I'm like, yeah, but I know it was wrong. And that color was actually supposed to be the color of my throwing bouquet, which was the right color that I wanted for my actual bouquet. So anyways, that happened. My sister, about 2 or 3 days before the wedding, threatened to not be in the wedding. Not my sister Holly that I tell you guys about all the time. It was the other one. She said she wasn't going to be in the wedding unless I changed something. She didn't like who she was walking down with. So I ended up like letting her deal with that and change it herself. But like 2 or 3 days before the wedding, like somebody's not going to be in your wedding, would not walk down like, what? I ordered my shoes from Europe, and they were gorgeous. They were absolutely wonderful. I loved them. However, something happened with the size change in Europe, and they wound up being half a size too small, so my feet were incredibly cramped, and they were hurting pretty much all day until the reception when I got to change into flip-flops. It had rained the day before my wedding, so when we went outside to take the pictures, Michael and I didn't see each other before the wedding. We saw each other when I was walking down the aisle with my dad. So before I see him, when I'm taking all these pictures, I get mud stains and grass stains on my dress, and my heels are covered in mud because I was sinking into the grass. So there was that. Before the even ceremony began, my dress is muddy and full of grass stains. That was great. The reception, a homeless guy came in and wanted to hang out and have some of the candy bar and stay warm from outside. I don't think many people caught that, but, you know, that happened. Let's see. My wedding dress ripped. The back of it completely ripped open, like it like started like on my hip and went all the way back, and it just, here I am. Here's my, we had done the garter toss, but here's my other garter. Let me just show you. Let me show you my wedding dress panties. Let me just show you everything. Thank God I caught it really fast, and definitely thank God that my new sister-in-law knows how to sew, and she's very good at it. And she took 20 minutes to stitch me up. But we were supposed to do the dollar dance beforehand. So the DJ announced, like, hey, we're going to have the dollar dance, and here my dress ripped open. So I ran over holding my dress. I'm like, hey, I need like 10 minutes because my dress completely ripped open in the back. So please hold off the dollar dance. And honest to God, we went through Midwest Sound. They're from Minnesota, and our DJ was Joe, and he was absolutely fantastic. He kept everything going. He kept all the people on the dance floor, and to the point where when I came back, everybody was like, oh yeah, the dollar dance, we were supposed to do that. So I definitely have to give a shout out to those guys. I mean, they did absolutely wonderful, keeping everything together, keeping everything held together, flowing, and kind of a good movement. And then the most mortifying thing that I can think of is singing in front of a large group of people. I don't sing in front of a lot of people. I sing for my sister Holly and my brother Jay, and that's kind of a rarity. I mean, that's not an everyday kind of thing. That's very scarce. I mean, I will sing in the shower, but only if I'm 100% positive that Michael isn't coming home and that he isn't home. So I had thought like maybe I could get over this fear and maybe I could sing the song Arms by Christina Perri to Michael, because it was such an influential song for me when he was in Afghanistan, and I fell in love with the song after he left from leave. I heard it on the radio. I had heard it before from a friend, but I heard it playing on the radio as I was leaving the airport from sending him back. So I thought maybe I could get over that fear. Maybe I could do that. And I was like, I sang it for my brother, and I was like, nope, definitely can't do this, can't sing it in front of people, can't do it. Well, my brother and one of the best men from Michael's side, we had two best men and maids of honor. Anyways, they conspired with the DJ to have this song and have me get up in front of everyone and sing it. Now, I know this song by heart. I love this song, okay? But for the life of me, I couldn't remember the words. I was getting all dry mouth. I was downing water like it was no tomorrow, and I was ready to faint. I couldn't breathe. I mean, my dress was super tight and like corset-y, so I couldn't really take a full breath anyways. And here I am, like, being told I'm going to sing in front of 100+ people. I was like, I'm going to faint. And so my brother conspired with the DJ, and we started playing, and the most mortifying thing happened. I got ahead on the song, which I know that I wouldn't do because I know this song. And I had to start over. So first of all, I'm singing in front of all these people. Secondly, I have to start over the song. So I was holding my brother's hand, and he's holding out lyrics in front of me because I for the life of me, I couldn't remember. Everything was a blank. I couldn't remember any song. So I'm squeezing his hand, and he's like, I don't want to see you when you go into labor because my hand is still numb. He told me this 20 minutes later. And when I had to start over, I was 100% sure I was about to faint. So I grabbed my brother's hand even tighter, and I leaned up against him, and I was like, this is it. This is the moment I pass out. Well, that didn't happen, thank God. The venue had given us a quote for what we needed for our down payment via email, and then when we went in, it was a grand higher. They're like, oh yeah, this is what you owe and for your down payment. And I was like, that's not what was in the email. And they're like, well, that's what it is. And I'm like, fine, here's your stupid money. And then, I mean, they kind of set up a little bit wrong, but it wasn't a huge deal. And we had a keg of beer sponsored from my father-in-law, and they weren't supposed to open it until 8 o'clock because my mom's side of the family doesn't really drink or dance a whole lot. And so we didn't want to offend anyone by having like a bunch of free alcohol, and, you know, for religious issues, they don't drink. And the keg was open when we got there, and it was like halfway gone, and we're like, what are you doing? We specifically said that doesn't open until 8. Like, you got a couple hours still, like, after dinner. And so they closed it, and then they like, re-tapped into it for us later, but still, like, I told probably 6 different people at that company, and they still open it. I'm like, you don't understand, like, this is like it's like slapping somebody in the face. You just don't do it. I don't know, I had a bunch more problems, but I feel like a 10-minute video is long enough, so like and subscribe to my page, and I'll try and put out the further in-depth tales of my wedding struggles later. See ya!